The first story of the day is Governor of New York Andrew Cuomo was quoted, and I don't want to take it out of context because I always don't like what they do to Trump. They take one part of it out of context and then try to make it the whole deal. But he was quoted saying, "We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great." He went on to, of course, virtue signal about, oh my goodness, I think it was him, correct me if I'm wrong, that was like, "I'm lesbian. I'm a Muslim woman." Like, it's like the hardest virtue signal on the planet, Governor of New York. He's like, it was never that great. So I get what he means, it's like he wants to make it better than it's ever been. So I just want to be honest, because I don't like when people take anyone out of context, so why would I do the same? But to be honest, if you really listen to the quote, he did say, "We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great." I mean, that's a direct quote. And before I get into like the whole analysis on that, I just want to start with something that really, really bothers me, especially with the left, the progressive and liberal left. And, I'm very critical of conservatives that get mad at me all the time on Twitter and Facebook because I say things that other people won't say. But I just have to be real. One thing that I do appreciate about conservatives and Republicans is that they're appreciative and grateful of America. You could say what you want about them, their flaws, their mistakes, but at the core, they appreciate America and they're very, very grateful for America. And me as a person, like, I know you don't know everything about me, but on a spiritual, like psychological and mental, personal level, I believe in gratefulness. What changed my life was being grateful and stop wishing for all the things that I don't have, and I focused on what I did have. I focused on this little amount of resources that I did have, and that's what drives me every single day. That's why I've been able to be so successful against all obstacles and with pretty much no budget and no, help, no technology that other people have, no employees. It's been my, gratefulness and appreciation for what I had. So I really can't stand, especially imagine being the governor of what some consider the greatest state and the greatest city in the world, New York City. Imagine being the governor of the most powerful nation in the history of the world, potentially, in the greatest city of the entire world. Some would say maybe ever. I don't know if that's true. That's up to perception and perspective. But imagine having no gratefulness and just like being like, America was never that great. And I just want to say, as I always do, I want to warn Democrats and liberals and even progressives. This ideology of hating America really is not as popular as you think it is. Trump's Latino support went up 10% during the border media fiasco. Like, oh my God, he's separating kids from families. His Hispanic support in some polls went up 10%. Now they're saying, he's racist because he doesn't like Omarosa, even though most people don't like Omarosa, and he's so terrible. His black support keeps skyrocketing. So when it comes to America, I just want to let you know, I listen to people. See, I speak, and CNN and people like Cuomo and all these other people, they don't listen. They just, they're like a one-track minded, just spewing out their perspective, and they try to silence and, yell at everybody who doesn't agree with them. But I listen to people. I listen to immigrants. And it's not a popular opinion among immigrants. They talk about CNN and the Democrats say, we own immigrants, we own black people, we own Latinos, we are the fighters. And then if you're Candace Owens or, black and Latino police officers, then there's like, unambitious liberals who happen to be white calling them white supremacists. It makes absolutely no sense. But it's not a popular opinion amongst immigrants that America is not a great place, because that's literally the reason that immigrants come to America. Almost every single immigrant I talk to, I don't know about these ones that they handpick for the news and whatnot, and I know that there's some that don't agree with me. I'm not delusional like them, who I'm like, oh, no one who disagrees with me exists. I know they do, unlike they think, oh, no way. But most immigrants I talk to, they love America. That's why they came here. They have pride in America. I talked to an Iranian immigrant last week who was telling me how much he loves America. Even though the travel ban is preventing him from seeing his father, he still loves Trump and appreciates America. I know Canadians, it takes tens of thousands of dollars and 10 plus years to even become a citizen. So when they become a citizen of America, they love America. It's like, it's not a popular opinion to say that America was never great. It's not perfect. It's not without flaws. We definitely have our mistakes. But if you look on a worldwide scale, why are people pouring in from Africa? Why are people trying to come in from the Middle East? Why are 50,000 people getting arrested at the border of Mexico every month? How come people from South America and Central America sacrifice their kids and take a 80%, risk of their kid getting raped to get to the United States? Why is it that they're so desperate to come to the United States if it's such a terrible place, if it was never great? So I just don't understand their strategy. I'm just going to be honest. That's why Donald Trump won. I never in my wildest years would ever think that I would be where I'm at now. But it was the delusion of people like Andrew Cuomo. It was the delusion of networks like CNN, where his brother works. It was MSNBC and New York Times and Washington Post. They're not even hiding it anymore. It's like the New York Times hired Sarah Jiang, who, by the way, is now verified on Twitter, who has all these hateful, like, anti-white person. She's, like, so nasty and negative. Like, she hates America. She hates white people. I just don't think that that's really that popular of an opinion. And I'm a firm believer in your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So what tribe am I attracting? What tribe are we creating? It's a movement. It's not me. It's we. Of course, it's my name. And, I haven't created like a super creative name for what we are. But, you are. That's why I tell you, hey, don't be so mean in the comments, because you reflect me. You are me. But I attract a lot of really great people. Of course, there's going to be some mean people, some negative people, some people that we're different, but we love each other and we see, eye to eye on a lot of things, and that's all great. But what tribe is Andrew Cuomo attracting? I mean, he's attracting a very low-level crowd of like the nastiest, most negative people who hate this country and are so ungrateful and all these qualities that, to be honest, I just don't really want near me, or, I don't know. Makes absolutely no sense, but overall, this is a direct quote from Governor of New York. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. Tell that to the Iranian women who come to the United States so they can work and live and have a life of freedom that they don't have in Iran. Tell that to people who escaped the Middle East, who escaped torture and, potential death and like anti-freedom and captivity, to come to the United States so they could work and live a life that tens of millions of people, if not billions of people, don't have. Tell that to people who come from India. And there's reports from Yuma, Arizona. I talked to the kids. They say that people from India come to the United States and live in a prison. I talked to workers who work at a prison, and they say that people from India pay money to come to America to live in a prison. And they think they're in a resort because that's how great America is. Is it perfect? No. Is it flawed? Yes. Is there still terrible things going on? Absolutely. Is it 100% equal and great? No, it's not. But was it never great? I mean, that's just a really, really horrible, nasty, negative mindset. But what I'm glad about and what I appreciate about Andrew Cuomo saying this is I love the transparency. Just like I stand up for Trump, and I really like Trump because he just tells it like he sees it. Is it off-putting? Totally. Is it what I would say? No. Is it what most people say? No, but he tells you how he feels. Trump will say it. He doesn't hide anything. It's not like, oh, we don't know how Trump feels about, these people or that people. It's like, he'll just tell you, and he's not talking about all people. He's talking about those specific groups. And most of the time, Trump is spot on. It's like, he doesn't say it in a polite way, but he tells you how he feels. What I like about this is Andrew Cuomo's telling us how he feels. And it's really not, it's like New York Times. They hired Sarah Jiang, who says effing white people are like dogs pissing on fire hydrants, with their comments all over the place. I already knew, I knew this for 2-3 years now, that the New York Times, it seems like, at least when I read them, that they hate white people, they hate Christians, they serve as a PR team for certain political and religious ideologies. So when they hire someone like Sarah Jiang, I love it, because I'm like, oh, perfect, you're telling us who you are. You hate white people, and now we know for sure. It's like you're not hiding it. I like that transparency. If you got some hate, let that hate out of your heart. I'm not saying like let it out on people, but if that's how you feel, it's better to let it out, and then we can debate it ideologically. Be like, you hate white people? Let's have a debate about it, because I don't hate white people. I don't hate black people. I don't hate Latinos. I don't hate Christians or Muslims, and I'm open to debate about it. But if you do hate white people, let us know, New York Times. Now we know who you are. At least you don't have to hide it in the shadows. It's the same with, Andrew Cuomo. It's like, you hate America. You think it was never great. Thank you for telling us. I appreciate your transparency, telling us that you think America was never great, because there's hundreds of millions of Americans who will disagree with you. The immigrants who sacrificed, their family and their language and things, these barriers that are so hard to overcome to get to the United States, they don't agree with you. Conservatives don't agree with you. Libertarians like Rand Paul don't agree with you. Donald Trump doesn't agree with you. Republicans don't agree with you. The Tea Party doesn't agree with you. A lot of centrists don't agree with you. And to be honest, a lot of liberals and progressives probably don't even agree with you. So it's nice that you let it out of your heart that you don't think America was ever great, because now the hundreds of millions of immigrants that you always talk about and act like you care so much about can assess what you're saying and be like, wow, I came to this country, spent $10,000, took 10 plus years, and like sacrificed my life to get here for a life of freedom that I never had and a life of opportunity that I never had. And the governor of the greatest city in the world doesn't even like the country he lives in. You know, let that hate out of your heart. I love it. I love seeing, and I don't say I love it because I really don't like seeing it, but I don't like I don't like PC culture. I don't like political correctness, and I believe that is the reason that we have so much wars and dilemmas, because everyone's freaking out about words and they're like, oh, I'm so polite. But then you drop, 26,000 bombs and start 7 different wars. So it's like, would I rather someone say something mean or, start 7 wars? It's like, tomatoes to bombs. I think it's a pretty easy decision. And overall, it's like, let us know how you feel. Trump wants to make America great again. That message didn't resonate with me because I'm not old enough to know when America was like that little pocket of time when it was so great. That message didn't resonate with me, but guess what? It resonated with 65 million people or however many people voted for him. So clearly it worked. And it's like, I made a tweet the other week that I felt was pretty accurate. I forget exactly what I said, but it was like, I never really liked the slogan, make America great again, but it sure does beat turn America into a third world country. So it's like, Trump, make America great again? I think it could be a better slogan maybe. Turn America into a third world country and turn it into the Middle East and, take all the problems that are happening in Europe that the media is covering up and turn it into Europe. I'll take Donald Trump for 500, Alex. So overall, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And the further we go, the more people expose themselves. They take down Roseanne. They've said 20 million times more terrible things. They make fun of Trump and they say Trump is so hateful, yet they're so hateful. They want to stand up for poor people and they're so concerned about Black and Latino people, yet they call them white supremacists when they actually have a job and they're working for their family, as opposed to being completely unambitious and ungrateful to be in America. And then you also have, people who say that they're standing up for poor people, and then they say that only poor people like Trump. I've heard multiple people say, oh, I don't know a single person who likes Trump who even has a college degree. It's all dumb people. So you're standing up for poor people, but then you're making fun of poor people? I don't know. They've lost me with their complete delusion. But once again, that's the story.